What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're going to talk about it. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So today we are reviewing The Bachelor Season 28, Episode 3. And this episode kind of pissed me off. Okay, so let's get right into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are made aware every time I post a new video. Okay, so as this episode opens up, we see Joey talking to the ladies about bullying. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait to get into that conversation because as we know from last week, a whole lot was going on with Maria, Sydney, and Medina. Okay, so we find out that there are 18 women left. This week, there'll be 2 group dates and 1 romantic one-on-one date. The first group date, the ladies are meeting up with Joey at a theater where they will be doing a pageant in front of a live audience, okay? And we also get a visit from the Golden Bachelorette ladies. We got April, Susan, Kathy, and Nancy. And y'all already know I was super excited to see these ladies because I did love them on The Golden Bachelor. So for this pageant, the ladies only have 1 hour to prepare to be crowned Joey's Mrs. Right. Okay. And there's 3 categories that they're going to be judged on. First is lazy Sunday fitwear or something like that. And then there will be a Q&A portion and then the talent portion. Of course, every pageant has that. So the majority of the ladies are very nervous, but they keep letting us know that Sydney is very confident in this competition because she has done pageants before. So of course, we sitting there like, okay, well, Sydney better bring it because she's talking a good game. Like she's gonna win this with no problem. Everyone looked really cute for the lazy Sunday portion, but it was the question and answer portion where things got really juicy, okay? And the Golden Bachelorettes were the ones who were asking the questions. So we see April ask Maria how she would be able to keep things spicy and how she would be able to cope just in case Joey's parts, stopped working. And Maria says that she wouldn't mind adding some things into the bedroom, that can get the job done, okay? Next, we see Sydney, and she admits that she has faked it before. And in Maria's confessional, she's like, I want the record to show that Sydney has admitted to faking it. I'm like, okay, girl, like, who hasn't faked it? I'm sure everybody has faked it before, to stroke that ego, child. That's back in the day, but grown, now that we grown, we ain't faking nothing. Let them know it's trash and tell them how to do it right, okay? Period. Moving on, okay? So next we see Lexi, and she's asked what her favorite qualities about Joey are. And of course, she mentions his eyes and how handsome that he is, but she says what she really, really appreciates is that he remembers the little things in all of their conversations, and that really means a lot to her. And clearly, Joey was also very impressed by this answer. And after that answer, I immediately thought, Lexi's gonna win this. Lexi's gonna win this. When they start playing all the sweet music behind people talking and stuff, it's like, okay, we already see what's gonna happen here, okay? Next, we see Edwina, and she decides to do a song. She writes this song for Joey, and she says that she's not a singer. And I'm like, well, girl, why did you decide to sing if you're not a singer? Why would you do that? But everyone loved it, and so did Joey. Now, if I was in the talent show, I would do singing as well, because I'm a singer. I would be like, what would I sing? I don't even know what I would sing. Anyway, so next up we see Sydney, the pageant queen, okay? And she starts off by doing this very awkward chair. And I was hoping that was just a ploy, right, to surprise us. I was hoping that she was purposely starting off horribly and then she would just like bust out and have these moves and stuff like that. But no, that was it. Like she was serious and it was horrible. Then we have Lexi, okay? And for her talent portion, she said that her talent is that she is a very good kisser, and she calls Joey up to assist her in this demonstration. And clearly Joey liked it because Lexi wins the pageant. And some of the ladies aren't too happy about it because they feel like she didn't put much effort into her talent portion. And I thought that it was a good way for her to sneak in a kiss with Joey, but I also have to agree with the other ladies who felt like she didn't deserve it, right? Unlike last week when Edwina won and those ladies were salty, Edwina earned that date, okay? She was the reason why the blue team even won. You saw how hard Edwina was playing? She earned it, okay? So with the ladies acting salty last week, yeah, I still feel a way about that. I don't care if it was a team effort. Y'all know that Edwina deserved to win that. And for everyone else who didn't even go on the group date, What were y'all upset about? You weren't going on a one-on-one date with him anyway. So while they're discussing the talent portion of the show, we see Sydney and she jumps in and she's like, well, Lexi's my friend, so don't talk ish about her. And Edwina's like, I'm not talking ish about her. I could say this to her face. And I'm like, yeah, period. Period. But I will say it was this moment that made me had to go back and watch the drama from the last episode, because I'm like, okay, now it seems like Sydney is just looking for drama, right? Because even last week, she's like, oh, is this person talking about Medina? Oh, is this? Is this person talking ish? So I did go back to watch, because I know that a lot of people in the comments said that, Sydney is the problem, not necessarily Maria. After watching the clip, Maria's still a problem, okay? And I'm going to get into how Sydney is a really big problem, but Maria still, from the way that I see it, and after rewatching it and seeing how Maria handles conflict later in this episode, yeah, Maria, her slate ain't clean, okay, but we're going to talk about it. So later that night, we see Joey, and he spends some individual time with each of the ladies, and he lets Lexi know that the reason why she won today was because she stepped out of her comfort zone, and that meant a lot to him. And I think that he really wanted to make that clear, because a lot of the ladies were still upset that Lexi won because of a kiss, right? And Joey wanted to make it be known she did not win just because of her kiss. She won because she stepped out of her comfort zone. Okay, Joey, we just gonna have to take your word for it. Next, we see Joey on a date with Maria, and Maria also brings up the fact that, had I known that for the talent portion, we could just do anything we want, we could just kiss you, we could just do this, then I would have just done a little dance. I wouldn't have put that much thought or effort into it. And I agree. I agree with that. So next we see Medina, and she's speaking to Joey, and she's reluctant to tell him about the drama that's been going on since last week. But she finally tells him, and she lets him know that she feels like she was being bullied because one of the girls wanted to know who told her what was said about her, right? We know that it's Maria, but Medina does not want to disclose the name to Joey. So we see Joey, he goes back to the group of women after he has that conversation with Medina. He lets them know that he is not a fan of bullying, okay? And that this is an issue that he's going to be taking a closer look at because he's not cool with it. And the night ends with Kelsey getting a rose. And then as soon as Joey gets up to leave after giving Kelsey the rose, Maria's like, what the F was that about? And I'm like, girl, what you mean? You know what that was about? Maria, come on. It was very much giving Portia on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Who said that? So after Joey leaves, Medina says, I had a conversation with Joey and I told him that I felt like I was being bullied. And Maria's like, you told him that I was bullying you? And she's like, no, I didn't say any names, right? But then Maria starts asking questions like, how did I make you feel bullied, okay? And as Medina is trying to answer Maria's question that she just asked, Maria keeps cutting her off. Now, Maria got the right one with Medina because I would have calmly let her know that she wasn't going to keep cutting me off. You're asking me a question, allow me to answer the question. If you keep cutting me off, we could just end the conversation here, okay? We can just end the conversation here because you're not going to keep talking over me. That's what you're not going to do. But then Sydney jumps in and she says,
and I felt bullied as well.
And I'm not gonna lie, I started cracking up when Sydney jumped in just because I wasn't expecting that. But then Maria tells Sydney, girl, I don't even want to hear from you. And although I laughed at Sydney, I was like, Maria, girl, you don't run nothing here. But if you go back and look at the last episode, okay, Maria is doing the very same thing, asking questions and then talking over them when they try to answer. And to some, that can come off as bullying behavior. And to put it into perspective, say this was a Reddit post, right? And a woman was complaining about her man, and she's like, I try to express my feelings and I can't get a word in, and he invalidates my feelings and he talks over me. We'd be like,
oh no, girl, you better leave him. No one deserves that. That's this. That's bullying. That's abuse.
So I need people to be able to separate it. Maria is good for TV. Do I think that her and Joey have a good connection? Do I think that she's going to make it far in this competition? Definitely. But at the same time, can I also see that she might try to mask her being condescending to someone as just her being a bold person? Yeah, I'm a bold person. But at the same time, I understand, if I'm in a conflict and I'm actually trying to have a conversation to get to some type of common ground or to make sure that me and the other person fully understand each other, I'm going to let you finish what you got to say. And you're going to let me finish what I have to say, okay? You can't just talk over people and be like, oh, I have a strong personality. That's just the way I am. No, boo. No, boo, boo, boo. Okay. So at this point, I don't like the way that Maria is moving in this situation with Medina. And I also feel like Medina is just a soft-spoken person. She's non-confrontational. So that's another thing, is in Maria's defense, because I can see things from both angles, from all angles. A conversation between Maria and Medina it's gonna look like Maria's bullying Medina because Medina is quieter, right? She's less confrontational, and Maria's like, okay, so yeah, it's gonna give that as well. But Maria apologizes to Medina, and she says that they can talk alone together at another time, right? But then she calls Sydney a messy troublemaker. And then the two of them, they go back and forth about it. And Sydney finally says that she's done. And she gets up and she walks away. She's done with the conversation, okay? But then she comes back to say that she's done being attacked and she's leaving. And if anyone else wants to join her, they can join her. And now I'm like, okay, Sydney, get your ass on. You could go home too, okay? Because I don't know what she was expecting. I don't know if she was expecting everyone to get up and follow her like for like this dramatic moment. Maybe her first exit wasn't dramatic enough, so she had to come back and say that she was attacked and then tell everyone that they can leave with her too. But I also hope that Sydney realizes that no one got up with her, not even Medina, not even the person who she was defending, right? From what we saw, Medina didn't even go to like check up on her, right? So hopefully that's also a lesson to Sydney regarding her friendship with Medina. But in addition to that, now I'm actually wondering if Sydney did all of that for Medina because she genuinely cares about Medina and genuinely cares about her feelings, or if she just wanted a moment of drama and she saw the opportunity to do that with Maria, because we're going to see later in this episode, Sydney just can't let this go. And now your intentions are looking a bit impure. You get what I'm saying? So also we get some footage of the ladies in the house, and it looks like the majority of the women in the house don't think that Maria is a bully. So I'm definitely going to take that into consideration as well, because these are women who are living in the house with Maria, and it seems like the majority of them don't think that she's a bully. They just think that she has a strong personality, okay? So next we see Joey and Jen, and they go on their first one-on-one date. It's a fun surfing date. The sun was setting. They had great conversation. He gave her so many compliments. They were on the beach making out. It was just a cute date overall, okay? Later that night, Jess reveals that her childhood was very traumatic because of how her parents' relationship was. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of door slamming, and she always felt unwanted by her dad. And that has affected her growing up and in her relationships as an adult. And she says to this day, she still really doesn't have much of a relationship with her dad. So, of course, her revealing this to Joey, he feels closer to her. They share a kiss, and he asks her to go outside to look at fireworks. And at the end of the fireworks show, he gives her a rose, okay? Really cute moment, really cute date. But like I said in my last review, I still got my eyes on Jen, okay? So now we see for the second group date, they will be playing a game of tennis. And Joey has actually been playing tennis since he was 13 years old, and he also teaches it professionally. So it's a huge part of his life. And he also invited 2 tennis legends to help him out today. So then we see Jesse. He comes out and he lets us know that this will not be just a regular tennis tournament, tennis match, okay? And then he sends the ladies back to the changing room. And child, when they come back out, they're all broken up into teams of 2, and they have on these hilarious, ridiculous costumes. It was really funny, okay? But everyone is having a really good time. And we see Rachel is playing really hard. Kelsey is playing really hard, and she has Joey cracking up, okay? But for the final match, we have the Lobster and Butter, and they're playing against Hot Dog and the Bun, okay? We see Lobster and Butter. They win the tournament, so congratulations to them. Later that night, they have a really cute group date, and Joey takes each lady aside for some one-on-one time, okay? We see Caitlin. She tells Joey that the women in her family are cursed with being single, and it's up to her to break the curse. And I'm like, girl, that might not be a curse, okay? That might be a blessing in disguise, all right? So Kelsey says that her reason for being single is because she doesn't want to settle. She knows what she wants, okay? And she knows what she brings to the table, period. Period. I love that. I just love that. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that I love when women are just doing what they need to do, living their best lives, okay? Making sure that they are good and not putting their happiness in the hands of someone else, okay? No. We ain't doing that.
It's 2024. for it. We ain't doing that, okay?
So Joey loves that she doesn't need a man to feel validated. He really likes that about her, and they share a kiss. Next, we see Rachel and Joey meet up for their one-on-one time, and Rachel's earring gets stuck in Joey's sweater. But after that fiasco, she opens up about how much Joey reminds her of her father. Her father is just really sweet, really kind to her mom, and of course, that is something that she wants for herself. And then they share a kiss. Okay, next we see Joey and Kelsey T, and they share a kiss. Y'all already know how I feel about these kisses, but let's go on, okay? Next, we see Joey and Daisy, and they have another talk about her implant, and she wants to make sure that he is 100% comfortable with it because it's a huge part of her life. But of course, Joey says he completely understands, he's fine with it, and they also share a kiss. But at the end of the night, Caitlyn is the one who gets the rose. And I like Caitlyn, so I wasn't mad at that at all. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, we see Sydney is still upset about the Maria thing. She's still upset about the Maria thing. And she tells Leah that she's gonna tell Joey who the bully is, okay? So next we see Jesse, and he's telling the ladies that they'll be having a pool party, and it's gonna be catered by KFC. Now listen, I haven't had KFC in a while, but when I tell you the way that I used to tear up KFC biscuits, like I would just go and order 6 biscuits and just eat them. Yeah, that was a while ago. And I was actually fasting while I was watching this episode. So this scene made me so hungry. My stomach was growling. But anyway, this pool party is where I was like, okay, Sydney, you're really doing too much now, okay? Because she's still talking about it. And now it just looks like she wants Maria out of the house because she sees the strong connection that her and Joey has. And now she's trying to use this as an opportunity to paint a bad picture of Maria to Joey so that he can send her home because she's insecure about her position in the competition, okay? I don't see why this whole thing couldn't have been settled and done with in the last episode. I don't see why this is still going, right? So Sydney tells Joey about the things that Maria said to her and about all of the Medina drama, right? And while she's having this conversation with Joey, the ladies are low-key upset because they feel like they're being robbed of their opportunity to spend one-on-one time with Joey because he's dealing with this drama between Medina, Maria, and Sydney. So Sydney tells Joey that when she was speaking, Maria cursed at her and called her dumb, and was cutting her off or whatever. So of course, Joey's upset by that information. And then he pulls Maria aside, he confronts her and asks her like, hey, this is what I was told. Is this what happened? Because Sydney said that as soon as someone spoke up, you were attacking them, right? Now, attack? No, I don't think that Maria attacked anyone. I feel like people be using that word attacked way too lightly. Okay, but talking over and cursing at, yeah, she did do that. She did do that, okay? But then Maria also starts to cry and she says that she's been bullied, so she wouldn't bully anyone else. And I think that the bullying thing, it's a bit subjective, right? I feel like there are actions that we can all 1000% agree, yes, that's bullying. That's bullying. But then there are also other things where some people might see it as bullying and some people might not see it as bullying. Some people might feel like, oh, that person just has a strong personality, or, oh, this person is just too soft. And that's why I feel like some people might have different views on what was bullying and what was not. But like I said from before, it seems like the consensus in the house is that Maria was not bullying anyone, or Maria doesn't have a bullying type of personality, okay? But during this conversation, Maria also tells Joey that if he likes Sydney, he cannot like her because they are two very different people. I don't like when people do that. They do that on Love is Blind too. I feel like it's low-key manipulative. I don't like when people do that. I don't like when they compare themselves to other people in these competitions. I've never liked that. But Joey does leave that conversation with Maria feeling like he should have asked Sydney more questions. And he also says that he feels like his conversation with Maria and the way that Maria answered his questions, it was a lot more genuine than his conversation with Sydney, okay? So as we all know, the rose ceremony is tonight. And of course, everyone is very nervous about it, especially Maria and Sydney because of everything that transpired earlier that day, okay? And even though I put Maria on my shit list last week, this week I was like, I would be upset if Maria went home after this. Now I know Maria ain't going anywhere because she brings the drama as well. But I was like, if they did send Maria home over this, I wouldn't like that. So next we see it's the rose ceremony night. Evelyn is crying because she didn't get one-on-one time with Joey and she's afraid that she might be going home. Evelyn, baby, I need you to not care so much. I don't know how else to put it. I get it. It's a competition. you want to win, or maybe you have really strong feelings for Joey, but between the sobbing week 1, the jumping on the table week 2, and now the sobbing again tonight, I need Evelyn to like pull back a bit. And as we're going to see, that decision is pretty much going to be made for her tonight. Okay. So child, the second to last rose went to Maria. And then the very last rose went to Sydney. Okay. So Star, Evelyn, and one other lady, I cannot remember her name, I'm so sorry, but 3 ladies got sent home that night. So they do their chairs, you know, the chairs that they always do with the ladies who are remaining. And Sydney is still hell-bent on not letting Maria win. She's like, I can't let the bully win. And I'm like, Sydney, girl,
let it go.
Even though, like I said before, I don't like how Maria interacted with the ladies. I don't like that she was cutting people off when they were trying to answer her questions. The fact that Sydney wants to keep this going, it's annoying now. Find something else to do. Like, that's a big house. Go clean or something. Go lay in the pool. Go suntan. But this, like, you're doing too much. You don't got nothing else to do. So it looks like there's going to be even more drama with Maria, Medina, and Sydney in these upcoming episodes. And I'm definitely looking forward to that because y'all know I like a little bit of mess. But definitely after this episode, when it comes to Maria and Sydney, I still have my eye on Maria. I still have my eye on Maria. I do like that she's an outspoken person, but I can also recognize that when she is in conflict with people, she can be condescending and she can be rude. If you're going to have a discussion with someone and you're asking them a question, shut up and allow them to answer the question, okay? As for Sydney, I thought that she was being a real, genuine friend in the last episode. In this episode, not anymore. In this episode, it looks like she's just looking for a moment, extra camera time, clout, whatever. But the fact that she wants to keep this beef with Maria going when it's unnecessary, and Maria already apologized to Medina, yeah, now it's giving thirsty. You just look thirsty. And I feel like it's going to come back to bite her in the booty in the next episode. But we'll see, okay? I did like this clip that closed out the show with Jesse in the pool.
Ladies, it's the final rose tonight. No. Why do we even say final rose tonight? It's so obvious. There's one rose left on the table. Everybody knows that. Why do I have to go in and tell everybody? It's a waste of time.
Now, that's the question that I have been asking since last season when I was watching The Golden Bachelor. Tell me all your thoughts on this episode. It was a good episode. I was entertained, but in all honesty, I was more annoyed. And the way that the preview is looking for the next episode, I think I'm gonna be even more annoyed. At this point, I'm like, let me see more of Jess crazy behind. Like, I would rather see Jess than Sydney at this point, okay? Tell me all your thoughts below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for sticking around till the end. Thank you all so much for the likes, the comments, the views. I really appreciate it. I'm gearing up for a very busy February on here. I'm trying to put out a whole lot of content. So make sure that you stay tuned, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.